Doug Mesner and Geo Farnsworth because I know Geo Farnsworth is probably that James Campbell. I don't understand why this group of incels keeps making these weird sexual innuendos to me. And they think their insults actually matter. I'm not in middle school, you know? I'm 58 years old. Your little insults and all of that, I don't know what you think you're accomplishing with them. But I'm going to go back to what I wanted to do with this video and compare all the stuff that's going on. Compare them to me because they are convinced that they're so much brighter than I am and so much more put together, even though most of them are fucking convicted criminals. Andy Villa, good morning, 7-Eleven. Andy Villa is Doug Mesner. I've been having to deal with him on X now, so I know it's Doug. Doug is now protecting Geo Farnsworth and Daniel Dowd. They were all together when everything was going on with Owen. Andy Villa was the one at Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, telling me he's going to murder my dogs. He's going to Isaac Cappy me. He's going to make me disappear. All of the fucking threats. He was the one who sent me a picture of my freshly painted house. So when Daniel Dowd was posting all those live videos of my town in Harlan around the time Owen died, Andy Villa, aka Lucian Greaves, sent me a picture of my house, and he didn't get it on Google because Google doesn't have what my house looks like now. So someone was standing outside the front of my house. That was the whole argument I got involved with Neil Gross, who said, "Oh well, he brought up some picture that didn't, and I couldn't find the email." So he was just like, "Well, I don't see where there's anything." How about all the live videos? Why did they take all the live videos of Harlan and post them on YouTube when Owen died? And who was all involved with it? Geo Farnsworth, Daniel Dowd, and Andy Villa, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. Who's all fighting me on X now? Geo Farnsworth. That gross looking dude. What is his name? The one that I just talked to the last time. He's not a girl. And he's not dead. I cannot keep up with what was going on with Isaac Cappy because all he hung out with, DeFango. That's it. DeFango. And Geo Farnsworth. They're all fighting. Geo Farnsworth, who tells me in a thing that I took screenshots of and sent to police, 4+ years, Corey Daniel is saying that he didn't know Isaac Cappy and there were no police, but he could tell you the very minute he drove under that overpass. I come along 4+ years later, and now the whole story has changed. And Corey Daniel and Daniel Dowd, not only does Corey Daniel obviously know Isaac Cappy now, he and Daniel Dowd want to be heralded as heroes because they were on the bridge with Isaac Cappy. And who was involved with all of that bullshit? Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. He and Thomas Schoenberger are the ones who sent Isaac Cappy to go be on Nathan Stoltman's show. I know that because both Thomas Schoenberger and Lucian Greaves as Johnny Dub have bragged about it. They just flaunt their shit. And then when you call them out, they just lie and rewrite their shit like history is fluid. Like people are so fucking stupid, they can't see the discrepancies between what's been said and what's being said now. It's the same thing. Doug yesterday told me that I had drank the SRA Kool-Aid. Well, you want to know what, dickhead? I'm not the one who sends all my minions to Neil Brick's Smart Conference in Connecticut and the Ivory Garden Trauma Conference in Seattle. I'm not the one who sends all of my minions to make friends with them so that I can then and uh, attack and intimidate survivors. You have a fucking long ass history of it. Lori King died during the weekend of the second Ivory Garden Trauma Conference because your friend Amber Volatin went and got her, drove 3 states up and showed up at her door without anyone knowing. And Lori King just shockingly that weekend, that Sunday, ended up dead by suicide the same Sunday that Ivory Garden was ending their conference. You know, hey, Gov. And you were involved with Owen and all the shit that was going on with Owen. You have made my life you just go out of your way to actually, I don't understand the insults. And half of the time, the shit that you send me, I don't even understand. Because it's so fucking stupid, I don't even know what you're trying to say. And I don't think anybody that I forward that shit to knows what you're trying to say. The reason why people can't figure your shit out is because it's fucking crazy. There's no logical explanation for any of it. It doesn't make any sense, you know? And so that's what I'm having to deal with. Gio, fucking convicted criminal. Daniel Dowd, criminal. Thomas Schoenberger, criminal. DeFango, criminal. They're all involved with people who end up dead. Isaac Cappy does a video where he says he's not suicidal. If something happens to him, he didn't do it to himself. Every time he says it in the video, you can hear someone in the background hurting his dog. Then the very next day, he ends up dead by suicide. And how do we know it's suicide? Because all the people that he was afraid of said that it was suicide. But of course, those people now, 4+ years later, are now changing their fucking stories. That's what they're saying, you know? That's what's fucking happening. They changed their goddamn stories. They murder advocates and survivors. They're trying to close down and quiet up this child trafficking bullshit. They fucking change their stories so they're like night and day. You can't have both things be true. You can't not know Isaac Cappy. There were no police, but you know the minute that you drove under an overpass. And then 4+ years later, you're mad because you're not being heralded as a hero. Because not only now do you know Isaac, you tried to save him from going off the bridge. That's a big fucking discrepancy right there. And anybody who has a brain in their head can notice that that's a big discrepancy. And the question is why? And who's all involved with it? The same group. This group is involved with so many people just like this. Owen, Tracy Twyman, Isaac Cappy, Lori King, Lori King's husband. That's just the list that I'm aware of. You know, they're involved with all of it. And anyone who actually wants to fucking say anything else, you're either stupid or you're with them and you're lying. Because anyone who has a brain in their head can see that there's an issue with this shit. And I am so sick and tired of their insults and their threats. You know, it is just exhausting to deal with them. They're like insolent little children. And then when you call them out as that, then they're like, oh, you must be a pedophile because you compared us to kids. Dude, you're not kids. You know? It's exhausting to deal with this group. They're targeting your kids. This satanic temple after school daycare bullshit, they are targeting your kids. Thomas Schoenberger is involved. You want to know what? Nathan Stoltman isn't out there claiming that I'm doing anything. But Thomas Schoenberger in DeFango's name, I guess, is coming out of his mouth a lot. You know? And who's out there attacking me? The last live I did, I had to pin a comment because DeFango was saying insulting things about himself. And then he would post it over and over and over with different accounts. So I just took screenshots of all the shit that was going on, showed that it was exactly the same shit, but from different accounts. Then I banned this shit. You know? What do you mean? What do I mean worked with? Sorry, you know, I don't know much about Tracy Twyman. All I know about Tracy Twyman is that she was trying to expose the shit with Isaac. But if she's working with the Church of Satan and QAnon of all things, because QAnon is all Michael Aquino. And who's involved with QAnon? Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. And the fact that this bullshit is so out there and so obvious, and people just, I don't know. I just can't figure it out. Oh, you mean they changed their stories? I wonder why. Like, they must have a good reason for that. Yeah, they're fucking liars. They're involved. Jesus, you don't have to build rocket ships to the moon to figure this shit out. You know? But you do have to extract your fucking head out of your ass and breathe in some oxygen for a minute. You know? Because when your head is shoved so far up your ass, you obviously can't make good decisions. You know? And they obsess about me. They obsess about me. It is just constant, you know? And the reason why they obsess, and they don't talk about what I'm saying. They call me names. They call me names. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, I'm a pedophile. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. They got all that shit about my nephew from my sister, Sister Kathy, who's working with them. My sister Kathy and I don't talk anymore because after Owen died, she and I had 2 weeks that we actually talked about with each other. And what I came to the conclusion was she knew what was going to fucking happen to Owen before it happened. And then because she's been in conversations with Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, you know? Right, Gov. Ad hominem attacks and just bullshit. But there's no facts. There's no facts. Oh, he's wearing a blue shirt. Oh my God, he's such a liar. He's wearing a blue shirt. He has a ponytail. You can't trust him. He has a ponytail. That's the kind of shit that I have to deal with. I need to stop yelling because no one's going to listen to this because I'm fucking ranting. But I am just so fucking sick and tired of this bullshit. And their threats. Geo as James Campbell. Oh, I'm a man. You want to dance with a real man? No, dude, and I don't want to fuck you in the ass either. But like I said in that email, I bet Lucian Greaves will fuck you in the ass. But word of caution, you probably better wear a goddamn condom. But maybe it's too late for that, and maybe you don't care. It's hard to say anymore. You know? I'm so pissed off. And yes, Gov, their directed energy weapons have been terrible because they know I'm fighting a cold. But I'm significantly better than what I was just the other day. It's funny how it works that way. You know, it's just frustrating. But I'm not going to spend this whole time talking about them and fighting them. I just don't care. What ended up happening is that they came at me like 15 minutes before I got on here. And so I had to deal with emails. And it was just, they're so concerned about me asking for donations. You know, they're so concerned about me asking for any donations. Doug Mesner, oh, I'll give you $33 if you don't talk about donations, but I bet you can't. You know, I'm just, whatever. Whatever, dude. You know, you're getting money from a lot of places with your little non-for-profit that you don't have to actually, and that's the reason why you're able to do the shit that you're doing. Because you're a criminal enterprise and you're hiding it behind a non-for-profit. And you're not a church, you know? And it's bullshit. And the fact that Doug Mesner has gone out of his way attacking survivors, killing survivors and advocates. And that's the thing, is that, you know, and he doesn't do it. He fancies himself a little Charlie Manson. He sends his minions out to do it. You know, that whole weird Baphomet statue thing a year ago last Christmas at the Capitol in Des Moines. Was he anywhere involved with it? No. He sent his minions. He wasn't involved at all. You know? You want to know what, Gov? When you watch Stefan Burns, what's weird about that is that that only happens in solar minimums. Why is it happening in a solar maximum? What I'm thinking when I watched that video this morning, because there's a huge coronal hole in the sun, bigger than we've seen in a long time. It's fucking huge. But that shit only happens when it's solar minimum, and we're in solar maximum now. I'm wondering if our sun isn't getting ready to do the same thing Betelgeuse did. Because Betelgeuse actually did that and then dimmed for a bit and then expelled the entire surface, which that's headed towards us. I've said that over and over and over. Thank Cognitive for Stephen Burns. She hooked me up. I started watching it. Started watching him. He's just really educated and he knows what he's doing. But Betelgeuse just shot its entire surface of the sun, of its surface. And it's 10 times bigger than our sun. And if you look at the pictures from NASA, there's 4 pictures, and the very last picture says view from Earth. And that great big ass cloud of debris is headed right for us. You know? It's just, I wonder, you know, but it says in the end that the stars will fall from the sky. So I think we're at the end. The plasma that we are getting inundated with from the sun is having an effect on everything. On everything. You know? And it's the stuff that, it's nice that, because Stephen Burns is an educated geophysicist, and he's saying the same stuff that I've been saying because I listen to educated people. It's not like I'm out there. I'm not a QAnon dude. You know, I don't run around and listen to retarded or ridiculously stupid stuff. Sorry, you're not supposed to use that word that I just used. I'm old. We used to use that word all the time, but it's not meant for anybody. It's not meant for anything. It's just a phrase. Hey, Saki. QAnon is ridiculous. The last thing I heard about him is that they're down in Texas drinking bleach to stave off COVID. You know? Oh yeah, I did see the pumpkin thing that right before Halloween. The sun looked like a pumpkin. You know, it's interesting how it's all starting to work, and shit is coming out. That's the reason why they're on top of me, because all their shit is coming out. And now anyone who goes and looks at them can see they're all connected. Every one of them. It is exactly what I have been saying. They're not controlled opposition. They all work together. And now, funny enough, how you can see that they're all working together is because they're all working against me. Every single one of them is so focused on me. There is no preparation. There's no way to prepare for any of it. There is none, Saki. There's there's no way. The storms that we are getting are having an effect. New Zealand just got hit with a huge email. Oh, there has been a zillion emails. It's been that and what's been happening on X and what was going on in here. You know, they are so terrified that their shit is getting ready to be exposed, and it is. You know, the issue with QAnon, Gov, is that yeah, they do what they always do. They put a little truth in there, and it's surrounded with so much bullshit that most people throw the baby out with the bathwater. But you can't just discredit all of it because they're letting you know truths. That's what their whole thing. That's their whole game. Let people know, and if they can't figure it out or if they're stupid, that's on them. They told you the truth, but they inundate it with so much bullshit that you just kind of dismiss all of it. And that's what it's meant. That's the reason why there's so many fake ass survivors out there. Because these fake ass survivors are running around saying all of this weird ass bullshit that doesn't make any sense. And then people listen to it and think, oh my God, every survivor must be crazy. 80% truth, 20% fiction. I would go more of 20% truth, 80% fiction. That's where I would look at. That's how I would go. But Lavinia is right. I'm going to pray. I'm probably going to pray a couple times today. And Doug can go fuck himself. If there's anybody out there that can donate, my PayPal and my Venmo are D Shurter. I need some orange juice in a serious way. I need something for this head cold. I'm better, but still sick. It freaking sucks. You know? You can send me anything. I suggest david@davidshurter.com. That's an email they can't fuck with. So you can send me that. And someone sent me a question about right when I got sick. But they were going to the FBI and they were asking me about gang stalkers and what's a commonality with gang stalkers. They're all fucking drug addicts. Almost every fucking one of them is a goddamn drug addict, usually a convicted drug addict. That's a big thing with gang stalkers. They're drug addicts. They have a terrible work history. They've been in jail probably a couple times. You know, that's the commonality between the gang stalkers. They don't get normal, decent people to gang stalk for them. It doesn't work that way. You know, that's the commonality between gang stalkers. Is that no, I'm out of bubble bath. I'm out of if I take a bath, it's just in water. That's why I'm actually asking for donations now because I need something to actually just. I'm afraid this cold is going to go into my chest. You can already hear it. I still have that, but it's still heavy in my head too. This cold was something else. I'm usually not this sick this long. It makes me wonder if they did something to me, but there's so many people with this cold, and I hear that this cold is kicking a lot of people's asses. So they sit outside in a car for an hour and leave the door open. That's the thing about these gang stalkers is that they go out of their way to let you know that they're stalking you. That's what ends up happening. You know, I had someone suggest Vicks, so I went into my medicine cabinet because I haven't been sick in years. And lo and behold, I had a little thing of Vicks. So I have been putting it on my nose. My nose is kind of shiny right now. I didn't put it on my chest yet today, but I'm going to do that. I'm just, the combination of the lunar eclipse and the electromagnetic storm is very strong. It's all affecting each other. And this planetary alignment of it, the being trining each other, the gravitational pull of the planets is affecting everything as well. You know, I've never done it on my feet. I would love to do that on my feet. The problem that I have is that my dogs hate the smell. It's massive energy right now. Massive energy. And the gravitational pull and the lunar eclipse. And do you know that last night the moon was just a crescent? It was just a sliver. But I swear to God, it was red. When I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and I let the dogs outside, I could see the moon and it looked red. It looked like it was a blood crescent moon, you know? I didn't hear anything about it that it was supposed to be, you know? I just, let me pray quick. Let me pray. Heaven, we come to you as your children. We're in some really intense times right now. And just some really intense times. And we can all feel the weight of what is happening on our shoulders. And there are so many of us who know that we have a path that we're supposed to be taking in this. So help guide us and keep us on that path. Fill us with your grace and give us the oomph that we need to stay in this. I definitely need oomph. I'm just cold is just kicking my ass. And things are just crazy right now. But we ask for discernment. Help us with discernment and to figure out the right path. Your son, our brother Jesus Christ, must be packing his bags because I have a feeling he's about to return here soon. That's what it feels like. And all of their stupid shit is just, oh my God. We live in days that are surreal. They are on Signal talking about wars and they don't even know who's on the thing. Great. So there was a journalist on there who reported that this was going on, but who else is on there? Does anybody know? And if it happens once, how many times is it going to happen? We live in days that don't. If we wrote this for a movie, they would never make the movie because it would seem so unreal, which tells me that we're in the last days. And you sent your son, our brother, to instruct us about what we are supposed to do in the last days. Help us be who you need us to be. And we say these things gratefully and lovingly in your son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Gravity isn't what we think. And Lavinia, he could be. Very well could be. It's hard to watch movies. And I haven't been able to watch a Johnny Depp movie in years. You know, Chocolat was one of my favorite movies. I can't watch it anymore. I love the French woman. Now that I've gotten all upset and yelled, now I feel like shit. Funny how it works that way. I if anybody wants to donate or buy a book, Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, told me, "Oh, I bet you $33 you can't talk about, not bring up." You know, dude, the last time I did a video, I didn't bring anything up. I think that the live before that, I didn't bring anything up. Things are obviously hard for everyone, and so I don't want to be a burden on anyone. But if I could go buy some orange juice and some bubble bath that I can take a hot bath, boy, I sure would. It would be a blessing, you know. And it takes a great deal of humility to be able to ask for help, because for years I never asked for shit. Never did, you know. Never really wanted to be a burden. Thank you, Lavinia. And I know you're trying. Trust is something really difficult with me. It's really hard to earn, and it's really easy to lose. But I'm not. How many times do we need to forgive 70 times 7? And so it's just being sick. I know you are. I know you're trying. You know, Jesse says Bar is not. She's Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves' wannabe girlfriend. Don't trust her. And Geo yesterday tried to suggest that Skills is Defango. Skills is not Defango. Skills is Kara, the free range humans idiot that came to my house and secretly recorded me for 4 days. That's who Skills is, aka Emily Thorne. And I don't know who N8 is. She tried to throw N8 under the bus. I don't know what N8 is. Again, they bring up all kinds of stuff that I don't have a clue what they're talking about half the time. Oh, like and share, at least like, and leave comments. Unless you're a bad guy. And then if you leave comments that I think you're going to try and set me up, I'll just get rid of them. You know, I'll block whoever I want. This is my venue. And I won't feel the least bit bad. Well, if I make a mistake, and there are a few of you, like Gov, that I have blocked and then realized, okay, wait a minute, it wasn't the proper thing to do, and so I rectify it, and then I ask for apologies. You know, thank you, Gov. You're the one who actually liked it because someone liked it when I just first started, and I probably won't stay on here long because, as you can tell, now that I've gotten pissed off, anger kind of. That's the reason why they're wanting to trigger me so bad lately, is because they know I'm sick. And the anger, they know that they end up pissing me off because it's just dealing with, the shit that happened when I was 13. They don't present it in the proper way because it happened at the first day of a 3-week stay. My nephew didn't go to the hospital. I didn't go to jail. You know, And my sister Kathy is known in our family as a liar, a constant liar. Her own kids knows that she lies. She's the one who told everyone that my stepmother was dead for 3 years. The day that I was with Owen and ran